having a couple of good weeks. I want to tell you the story of getting my Spyder licensed. You're going to like this one. Typical, you know, government, hurry up and wait, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I am not a Georgia resident. My wife is. And when we went looking for Spyders, I was going to go in North Carolina, but we happened to come across one here in Georgia, the one that we ended up buying, that we just couldn't say no to. It was just, we had researched it, and it was just too good of a deal to pass it up. It was more than what we wanted at the price that we wanted to pay, so we had to get it. Well, that created a problem because I financed it through the dealer. The licensing and registration has to be in my name, but because I'm not a Georgia resident, I cannot get a Georgia tag for the Spyder. I don't know why that is. It doesn't make any sense to me. I know people that have, I know a guy who lives in North Carolina and he's got a card tagged in South Carolina. I mean, I don't know what the big deal is, but anyway, in Georgia you can't do it. So that means that I've got to go to North Carolina to get the tag. Well, not long after I bought it, maybe a week after I bought it, I went up to North Carolina and I went into my local DMV office, Department of Motor Vehicles, and took my receipts and everything that they had given me in there and walk in, and the lady just kind of looks at me with a dumb expression on her face and says, I don't have anything here I can work with. And I said, you don't? Got my receipt, I've got, you know, everything they gave me, all the paperwork. I've got my temporary, they did give me a temporary tag in Georgia, they could do that. And I had the registration card for it, and she said, well, I need a title, or I need this, notarize this, or notarize that. And I'm going, oh, geez. So, excuse me. I made the trip back to Georgia and went to the dealer and talked to my salesman, and he said, well, let me check with the lady who does all the title stuff. It shouldn't be a problem. He said, I can get all this done. And he went and talked to her and came back and he said, well, you don't have to worry about it. They're going to send you something in the mail. And I said, oh, okay, great. No problem. I'll wait for it. Well, my temporary tag was good for a month and a half. It was going to run out on August 1st, which is just a couple of weeks from now. And so I waited around a week or so. I got a guy who checks my mail in North Carolina, and nothing ever came. So I was going up for other business, and I just happened to be going by the Department of Motor Vehicles again, and I went in there and I said, do me a favor, punch my name in and see if I'm on the system yet. You're supposed to be getting all the information from Georgia for this title. And she does, and nothing. The only thing they have on record is the old V-Star here. So I go back to Georgia, and I go back to my dealer. And I go in one day and I said, look, I said, nothing's happened yet. I'm going to run out of tag, and I need to know something today. And he said, okay, well, tell you what, let me get you with the girl who does the titles, and she'll have all the information. She'll be able to tell you everything about it. And I said, okay, that's great. Let's do that. So he goes to get her and says, oh, she just went to lunch. She'll be about an hour before she gets back. So I sat around and cooled my heels for an hour, which is no problem when you're in a motorcycle dealership, because I sat on everything, looked at everything, talked to all the salesmen. They knew I wasn't going to buy anything, so it was kind of fun just to sit there and talk to them, no pressure. And so I ended up, she gets back from lunch, and she, you know, introduced herself to me, and I say, well, you know, this is what's going on. And she says, well, believe it or not, Mr. Smith, I just got the title today from Georgia in the mail. And I said, you did? She said, yes, Georgia just sent me your title. Apparently the paperwork, Georgia had to process everything and send a title. And I don't know why it took a month, but it did. And Georgia got the title, and she said, here, let me let you sign a few more pieces of paper. And basically what she did was she notarized everything for me. And I said, okay, great, thank you. And she said, I'm going to overnight this, FedEx it to the DMV, wherever you want it to go. And so I gave her the address of my local DMV in North Carolina, and she said, I'll send you a tracking label later. She did. She sent me a tracking number. I tracked it, That was on a Monday. On a Tuesday, it was delivered at 9:30 in the morning. And on Wednesday morning, I'm on the road again back to North Carolina. Now, it's a 4.5 hour drive one way from my house in Smyrna, excuse me, to the house in North Carolina. So I've made this trip now. This will be my 3rd time I'm going up on it. And I go in, and there's nobody in line at all. I walk right up to the window and tell the young lady, there's a package here sent in from Georgia with my name on it. I'm here to get a tag. And she said, great. And 10 minutes later, and about $100 in fees later, I have a tag, a North Carolina tag for the Spyder. So all is right in Sam's world. And I'm no longer fretting about running out of tag and having to explain to my wife why we cannot go ride on the Spyder, because she is really becoming a Spyder fanatic. She loves to ride on that bike, and almost every night when it cools off, we hop on her and go for an hour or so ride around town.